And we're live. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm here from Dubai, spontaneously. The live stream spontaneous, and actually, so was my trip to Dubai. I didn't know I was coming here until last week. It was my dad's birthday, and he decided last minute he wants to fly somewhere. He invited me to join. I'm always down for a trip somewhere, so I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And we flew together to Dubai. Now, coming here, I knew I'd need to switch some things up in terms of live stream because I don't want to rely on internet I'm not familiar with. So we're meant to have a live stream with Adam Green this Thursday. He's the anti-Semite from No More News. Um, we've been talking back and forth. We're both very much looking forward to this debate, him and I, but I didn't want to do it from a place where I don't know if the internet will work because it is a high stakes debate. So I wanted to make sure that I'm in the comfort of my own home with internet that I'm familiar with. Now that I'm here in Dubai, I see the internet's actually quite good. So I figured let's give it a shot. Let's do the live stream. The debate with Adam is still going to be postponed. On Thursday, we're going to have Izzy and Tal do a one-on-one discussion in Israel and Palestinians. So definitely check that out. They're both awesome individuals who have a lot of insight. What are we doing on today's live stream? I don't actually know. I just kind of missed you all. I missed the community. I missed live streaming. So I said let's go for it. Let's chat a little bit. I don't think this will be long. I think we'll make it nice and sweet, but I guess we'll just go with the flow. We'll talk about what you all want to talk about. We could even bring some guests on. If anybody wants to join the live stream, let me know. Write me in chat. Who's in chat right now? Let me know where you're viewing from. And let me know if you want to join the live stream. Let me know what you want us to talk about. Dubai is a pretty interesting city. I mean, they've done a fabulous job building kind of a I guess it's like kind of between Singapore and Las Vegas in how it kind of it's like Las Vegas in the sense that they've built a city in the middle of the desert that they attract people through different forms of nightlife temptations, but kind of like Singapore in terms of low regulation and very business friendly to bring lots of businesses here. And it's been successful. You know, Dubai, unlike Abu Dhabi, is not oil rich. They're rich from tourism and through tech, through bringing businesses here. It's been successful. So the Emir of Dubai, whose name I don't know off the top of my head, his picture's everywhere. It's quite a bright man to figure this out. In 50 years, they turned a desert into like a mega city. Like the infrastructure here is something I don't think I've seen in any other country. I'm trying to think if there's anything comparable. I guess I would honestly say I think Singapore is the closest, but I know many Chinese cities also are having crazy infrastructure these days. You can even see behind me, like I'm in an Airbnb. I'm on the 43rd floor of a pretty nice building, and you can see in the background here. Let me see if we can get a better view. Let me take my camera off. It really doesn't do it justice, but like, and on the other side is the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. Um, so yeah, it's a cool city. Hold on, I don't like the way I set that camera back up this time around. Cool, cool, yeah. Yeah, I'm having fun here. It's also interesting. You go to the mall and you see people wearing you see women wearing burqas or just hijabs. The men wearing the what's that full robe called? Honestly, I should know this stuff, but you know that full white robe. But then you'll also see like women wearing belly shirts, dudes wearing shorts. So it's a very stark contrast between religious and secular. The only other place in the world where I've seen something like that is Jerusalem, for example. Like you'll go to the mall or any public place in Jerusalem, and you'll see this similar contrast. So that's been interesting. What does it feel like being an Israeli in Dubai? So far, it's really been all good vibes. Like I tell people I'm Israeli. Everyone seems happy and excited to speak to me. You really meet people from all over. 90% of Dubai are immigrants, right? 90% of Dubai's population are immigrants, which is wild. Mainly from Pakistan and India, but there's a lot from all the other Middle East and North African countries. The food scene here is wild. Like in terms of brands, you have pretty much every brand you could imagine you have here in Dubai. Especially even like food brands that I haven't seen in years since making Aliyah. So there's like TGI Fridays, there's Five Guys, there's Nando's Chicken, like some random Hardee's, like some random shit that they definitely don't have in Israel. Um, so yeah, yeah, it's a pretty cool city. I like it. It's expensive, not quite as expensive as Tel Aviv. I'd say the cabs are half the price, if not less. I think the it's subsidized here by the government. Gas prices are also a fair amount cheaper. Uh, Hotels are a little bit cheaper. Food is probably 70% the price. But in general, I think like clothing and housing and all that, it's comparable, pretty comparable to Tel Aviv. Anyways, I've seen the comments. We have antiques and more. We have Or Halamish. We have Isani. We have Sly Tendencies. Good to see you all here. Let's see if there's any comments worth addressing. So Sly asked, can anyone be Israeli? All you have to do is claim you're Jewish. No, no, it's not that simple. You need to prove you're Jewish, and it's not being Jewish based off Jewish law. It's Israeli law, which someone on last live stream explained how it works. It's you need to be at least a fourth Jewish, so at least one Jewish grandparent. It could be on the father's or mother's side, which according to Jewish law, that's not the case. It needs to be on the mother's side. Like your mom needs to be Jewish, your mom and your mom's mom needs to be Jewish. Um, but for Jewish law, you just need to be at least have one Jewish grandparent, and that if you could prove that, then you can make Aliyah and then become Israeli. Um, so yeah, not it's certainly not everyone can do that. Antiques and More says Muhammad ibn Rashid. That is the name of the emir of Dubai. Thank you for throwing that out there. Yeah, I mean, so that's Dubai. The things I don't like about it, I guess, am I allowed to talk bad about Dubai? What are the consequences of such actions? Hmm. Whatever. We'll do it. So it feels like it lacks a certain soul. Like it feels artificial. Um, doesn't have like the natural character of a city that is built more organically, like New York City, London, Tel Aviv. Like these cities have a certain character to them that feels like it's missing here. Another thing is, I mean, this place is pretty damn authoritarian, right? Like the laws here are pretty strict. Now, Dubai's lax because they want tourism, so you could drink. Um, there's a huge, like massive market for prostitution here, massive. Like if you go on Tinder or any of the other dating apps, I would say 9 out of 10 matches are prostitutes. Um, so it's a little bit. There are certain things that are, and it's not that prostitution is legal, but it's kind of they turn a blind eye. But like, for example, smoking weed, you'll be jailed for, right? Like, there's very hard to find weed here, and if you're caught, you go to jail. That's kind of annoying. I like living in a city where I could smoke in public. Just walk down the street, smoke a joint. I guess there's not many cities you can do that, but Israel is one place. I mean, certainly Tel Aviv and some other places in Israel, you can certainly do that. Obviously, I don't base all my decisions based off weed smoke. I'm not nearly as big a pothead as I used to be. I now try to do it in moderation because it takes away my motivation. Um, but still, it seems like a nation's policy towards marijuana is indicative towards other policies they may have. So I think that's what I'm getting at. What's going on in the background? Whoa, what is that? Yo, stop, stop. Hmm. You guys see that? That's the magic of Dubai. Woo, woo, woo. So Isani goes, I'll spell it out for you. Isani goes, I will spell it out for you, brother. Adar, Dubai is fake. It has a fakeness to it, but I think in time, I think it's getting its realness, like slowly but surely. I don't know what's going on with the camera, with that flashing. Oh, it stopped. That was weird. Um, strange, strange elite girls. Go check out Adam Something's YouTube channel. The video Dubai is parodying the 21st century. Wow, funny as fuck, and shows the dark side of workers' lives. Yeah, so that's a great point. There's a huge human rights issue here in Dubai, from what I've understood. I haven't looked at. Look, I mean, what's going on in the background, I could live with, but I have a feeling it's going to drive the viewers crazy. Um, there's reports, and I really haven't looked in it, but that there's like something akin to slavery here with the workers. Um, unclear though, unclear. I'm not. I don't know exactly what it is, but maybe someone can share a link highlighting that. That like workers come here getting promised a certain job, and then when they arrive, their passports are taken, and they need to like work to get their passports back. A form of indentured servitude. Um, Isani goes, but smoking is bad. Weed is worse. No, smoking weed is not worse than smoking cigarettes. Not even close. Like eons apart. Um, First of all, cigarettes are much more addicting because they're physically addicting. Nicotine is one of the most highly addictive substances in the world. Um, Also, cigarettes are far worse for your body and lungs than weed. THC also has properties that shrink cancer cells. So, inhaling anything increases your chance of getting lung cancer, but because you're inhaling THC, it counteracts that effects. There's an interesting study that came out. So, smoking weed doesn't even increase your chance of lung cancer. It doesn't kill brain cells. That's pseudoscience. There are negatives to weed. I mean, it's mentally addicting. Certainly habit forming. It can make you lose motivation, can make you lazy. But it's also a great medicine and just thing you could do for fun. It expands. It changes the way you think for a few hours. It makes things more intense. Makes things more funny. Makes food taste better. Music sound better. Um, and then there's hundreds of medicinal and industrial uses for both hemp and cannabis. So I I don't know if you could put those in the same category. Uh, People don't die from weed. Tens of thousands of people, I think, is the number, die a day from cigarettes. Let me just look that up. How many people die a day from cigarettes? 480,000 deaths per year. Yeah, so that's a lot. Okay. Adi, you're asking how Dubai is, so I kind of broke that down the past 15 minutes. So go to the beginning. I've been talking about it. Antiques and more is telling me to change the topic. You think I'm putting myself in danger? Yeah, that's interesting. It's an interesting question. Um, I guess time will tell. I guess time will tell. The Israeli G goes, it also makes people annoying, in my opinion, and unreliable in reference to weed. Yeah, I would say somebody who is a pothead and it takes away their inhibitions is probably more unreliable. But there's also some very high functioning marijuana smokers. Like I've had a lot of bosses, like CEOs, multimillionaires that are high functioning and they smoke joints from the morning. So I think it affects everybody differently. So yeah, True goes, there are long-term studies that show a decrease in IQ amongst weed smokers. I smoke weed every day, but do believe it has an effect on cognitive ability long term. So, from what I've read, that's actually not the case. It affects your short-term memory, um, but if you stop smoking, then your memory returns. So it's not a permanent thing. It's just while you have weed in your system. And I'd say I also witnessed that. I go through phases where I'm smoking more, and then where I don't smoke at all. And when I don't smoke at all, I'm certainly sharper. I'd say for me, I like it the best when if I could keep my weed smoking to once a week or once a month, that's when I get the most out of it. You get a lot of insight, a lot of understanding on your week or your month. The problem is it is habit forming. So once a week can very quickly turn into once a day, and from once a day to like all day. At times I've been there. Um, Star Hopper says, "Isn't cursing illegal there?" No, no, it's not. No, Dubai's getting pretty liberal. Like you see people hugging and even kissing on the streets, which you used to not be able to do here. So, um, yeah, your room might be tapped. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting if I'm potentially putting myself at risk here. I don't think so. I think if what I've said has been pretty honest. I haven't trashed Dubai. It's my second time here. I like it. I'm telling people to come visit. Um, I haven't done anything illegal here. I don't plan to do anything illegal here because I know the consequences. So let's just put that on the record. Um, why blind warlock keeps you're asking if I tried camel shawarma. Um, it doesn't seem like there's actually much camel meat here. I haven't seen it on any menus. There is some camel milk and camel yogurt at some Emirati restaurants. So yeah, if you want to try camel milk, this is the place to do it. Negotiation F goes, is Dubai more high tech than Tel Aviv? That's a great question. I don't know. We'd need to see the data on it. I remember um, reading stats showing Tel Aviv is number two after Silicon Valley, and then I recall perhaps Toronto surpassed Tel Aviv. I don't know if Dubai did, but also that's startup specifically. Like, can high tech be measured in other terms, not just startups? Perhaps it can. So I'm really not sure. But what I'll tell you, where it surpasses Tel Aviv by miles, is the buildings here, the infrastructure. Some of the most beautiful buildings you've seen, and so clean. I haven't been to a single city in the world where you don't see cigarette butts on the floor. Not one. Nothing. No gum, no litter, nothing. It's the cleanest city uh, you've ever been to. Not only is it super clean, it's also you feel very safe here. The crime is very low. You don't feel like there's any chance you get mugged or something like that. So it's a very clean city and a very safe city. I probably should have said that at the beginning before getting into certain things I don't like to decrease the chance of me getting in trouble for saying some things. Huh. Um, have you ever seen any why Blind Warlock goes? Have you ever seen any Israel air tech water fountains in parks? They do have a lot of water fountains. I'm not sure if it's Israeli tech, but I'm pretty sure that the drinking water, it's all desalination, which I believe is Israeli tech. I think, and someone could fact check this, but from what I was told by a cab driver here, that the tech was sold to Dubai from Israel years ago, like a decade ago, before we had peace. We were doing business with one another. Um, Al Ram asks, how does it smell? Smells regular. I mean, some cities, when you're walking down certain streets, it'll smell like piss or trash, so you don't have that here. Doesn't smell like piss or trash. Yeah, yeah, it smells pretty good, and it's winter, like it's November 16th, and it's still pretty hot. It's 31 degrees today Celsius. For those who don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, let's see. 87. So it's 87 degrees today, Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. It's pretty crazy. Negotiation F goes, I realize it's an Islamic country, but are there bars in the hotels? So the interesting thing, so the UAE, United Arab Emirates, it's really broken into a bunch of different emirates, right? That's why it's the United Arab Emirates. Each emirates, which is essentially a district, has its own emir. An emir is kind of like the king of that district, and that emir really decides what's going to be going on in that district. So you have some districts here where you're not allowed to drink, and then others that are more liberal and you can. So in Dubai, there's some hotels they're called dry hotels. There's no alcohol at all, and then you have other bars where other hotels where they do sell alcohol. You have clubs that sells alcohol. There's a few liquor stores. They're not easy to find, but um, yeah, yeah, they have alcohol here. Um, it When you come here, it's again, it's a very interesting feeling because you definitely feel the Islamic influence. There's a lot of mosques, there's a lot of religious people, but it's like a very strong clash between religious and like just urban secular life. And the clash doesn't, it's not a clash in the negative sense. I think it works quite harmoniously, but it's almost creates a sense of awe, like it's hard to comprehend what you're experiencing. I would say those who live in Israel are more used to that feeling. Places like Jerusalem, other mixed cities also have that dynamic of secular and religious. But people who don't come from a place that has such a strong contrast, which I'd say most countries in the world are like that, um, they might be in shock from what they see. Or again, you'll go to the mall and you'll see a woman in a burqa passing by a woman wearing a belly shirt and short shorts, right? So these two things coexist here, which is cool. Warlock asks, are there any Ferrari cop cars patrolling? I haven't seen any Ferrari cops. Actually, I've seen one cop car the whole time. Like I don't know where the police are. It's it's very safe. It feels safe, but I really don't see police presence. So it's interesting. There are a lot of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Maseratis. Like the cars here are pretty sick, which is interesting because the roads aren't like built for driving fast. Like they have a lot of highways, but they're pretty congested, so you can't drive fast. I think there's tracks you could go to. Makrak goes, Adore, would love to meet you. How long are you in Dubai for? I'm going to be here until Friday evening. If I'm guessing you're in Dubai, reach out to me. You can find my contact information in the description. You'll see a link tree. Reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Yeah, I'm happy to meet. I'm not sure who you are. I don't know if we've spoken, but yeah, reach out to me. Let's do something. And also, I guess if you're in Dubai, can you bring clarity? Am I endangering myself talking about like certain things here in a live stream from Dubai? Is there something I need to be concerned of, or are we all good? Lake it goes sounds like Disneyland, but with a death penalty. Honestly, I'd say that's a pretty good description. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, so Starhopper, I see you're saying you think cursing is illegal. Same with public affection. It might be like technically, it might be illegal, but just not enforced like many laws in many places. That's certainly the place because you even see religious people holding hands. Well, is that considered public affection? I'm not sure, but I saw a fair amount of people like hugging and getting close to one another. Probably not as much as you'll see in other cities, but it definitely exists. Daniel goes, "Does the video not work for anyone else?" Hmm. Well, I guess there's kind of a catch-22 here because whoever it's not working for can't hear me say this, and whoever it is working for can. So there's actually no reason at all to read that comment. It's meaningless. Huh, okay, well, I hope it starts working for you, Daniel. But interesting. I see a bunch of people say it's frozen. What? Um, if anybody can see me, can still hear me, cool, cool. Okay, came back. Huh, interesting. Interesting. I don't know what happened. I got scared for a minute that my stream was getting shut down. Um, okay, I see it's not working for everybody. Huh, not sure why. Not frozen in Canada. Good to see you here, Wise Shepherd. Yeah, what's the temperature like in Canada right now? Here it was almost 90 degrees today. Aren't you jealous? So, I don't know. We'll probably start wrapping up. It's midnight already. 2 hours ahead. I guess because we're freezing, that is a sign to let's wrap it up. You see, that's exactly why I postponed the debate with Adam Green because this is new territory, so I can't rely on something I don't know. But Thursday we're gonna have Tal and Izzy doing a live stream together, one-on-one chat about different topics. Next Thursday I'll be debating Adam Green. Very excited for it. It's gonna be an interesting one. Gonna be an interesting one. I see in Canada it's 1 degree Celsius. Thanks, Wise Shepherd. I'm sorry to hear that. Cool. We're gonna wrap it up, friends. Thanks for joining. A little spontaneous session. This was fun. Um, Negotiation says, would you debate Duvid? Yeah, he was on the show one time. I know he's in good touch with Adam Green. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what we would debate. I don't know enough about him, but if there's an interesting topic, then sure. Yeah. Look, I don't take on many debates for two reasons. One is, first of all, when I frame it as a debate, people are expecting me to come out swinging, and I don't like to do that on air, like especially on a channel that I host. I have no intention to publicly shame somebody or make someone look bad. So I often come off as soft, which is interesting because in the day-to-day life, I'm much less agreeable than I am when I'm speaking to people here. But again, it's because in public I don't want to shame somebody and then have them feel bad that they came on the show. That's not what I want my contribution to be. Um, so the debates on this channel are difficult for me because I need to find the balance between giving proper pushback and not being too hard on someone, and that's a balance I'm still looking for. And the other one is if when I moderate, I don't really need to do prep work. I hear the arguments. I just try to make sure that there's a balanced conversation. But if I'm the one engaging in a debate, then it requires research, a fair amount of research, and that's time consuming. And as many of you know, I work a full time job. I have not been able to invest nearly as much time in a sulha the past few months as I would have liked to. So taking on these debates just takes more time for me. Um, but I think I'll do one every other month, something like that. We'll see how this one goes. I am preparing for this one. I'm watching Adam's videos to just better understand what he thinks in his worldview. It's going to be a good one. Yeah. True asked, what are you debating with Adam Green? Well, Adam Green, I called the debate speaking with an anti-Semite. He doesn't consider himself an anti-Semite, but if you watch his videos, his entire focus is Jews and how they control the world, and they're manipulative and doing this and that. They're behind 9/11. They're behind all the wars. But then he'll say he's not anti-Semitic. So I'll let him make the case why he doesn't think that's anti-Semitic, and then I think we'll just take it from there. That's going to be the gist of it. Uh, is he an anti-Semite? And what I view problematic about his approach when talking about world issues. And maybe he could tell me what he finds wrong about what well, I'm not I don't represent. I don't think I represent Jews. I think I just represent myself. I think that's how we should try to like view it. Like every individual is representing themselves. But it seems like, I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I don't know exactly what he's going to say, if he's going to come to a personal critique towards me about how I conduct myself, or if it's just going to be about the global Jewry. He might say that he has no issue with me personally, person to person. He just has a problem with Jews in positions of power. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I did have a phone call with him. We had a great chat, like very civil. Even it was friendly. I don't. I have no issues with the guy, like, on a one-on-one level. Yeah, and if I ever, I think he lives in California. If I ever flew out to California, I'd even meet up with him. Like, I have no problem. Okay. Um, Muhammad Hamdan goes, "Salam to all." Salam to you, brother. True asks, "Is he very unhinged?" I guess it really depends how you define unhinged. He's. I've seen him make an attempt to be intellectually honest and be fair and be respectful when he's engaging with people. So, like, I wouldn't compare him to someone like Nick Fuentes, right? Nick Fuentes is like a provocateur. He's a troll. I don't think that's the case with Adam Green. I think Adam Green genuinely has these concerns um, about the world, and he thinks those concerns can be summed up to blaming one group of people, primarily being the Jewish people. Um, he seems to conduct himself, though, in a respectful way. Like, our conversation is not going to get to personal attacks. I can almost guarantee that. Let's see what else we got. So MK Mac goes, "I'm taking a Middle East politics course. The professor just covered the Israel-Palestine issue. The main problem among several that I have is that she didn't address the Jewish people's connection to the land at all. She really made it seem like the Jews are an outside colonial group." I've heard that to be quite common in universities, um, which is a shame, because you'd think universities, that's a place where you should like learn things in a nuanced way. And the Jewish people's relationship to the land really is a nuanced one, because in the eyes of the Palestinians, we're colonizers, but in the eyes of ourselves, we are an indigenous people returning home. So that's a very interesting and complicated dynamic worth explaining. It's a shame she didn't. Trust, does he think Jews are Khazars? I'm actually not sure. It wouldn't surprise me if he does. Yeah. SKM goes, "Hidar, stop ganja." What do you mean? Why? I'm not high now. I smoke occasionally, primarily on the weekends, and if not on the weekends, in the evenings. And then sometimes I'll just go crazy and just like start in the morning. But like, it's the balance between being completely clean and then sometimes going to the other end of the spectrum. But thanks for looking out for me. So MK Macrack goes, who is in Dubai, I'm presuming, goes, "Hey Dart, you asked about taboos when streaming here. Everything should be fine as long as you aren't disrespectful to the authorities or the local leadership. Other than that, you can say what you want." Okay, I think I have followed those rules. I even complimented the emir, saying he's quite brilliant. So, which is certainly the case. Look what he did with this place. Okay. Adar, join the path. SKM, Adar, join the path of jihad. Oh, okay, now I get your. Now I understand your ganja comments. You were joking. Okay, I'm with you, SKM. Blind Warlock goes, "Is gambling haram in Dubai?" Yeah, there's no gambling here. Hey, do you love belly dance there or not? Isn't that women objectification? So I went to I did a desert safari yesterday. You go out into the desert, quite different than the desert in the Negev in Israel. There it's like more flat and like rock like. Here it's sandy dunes. Um, but at the end of the night, we did like a thing at the Bedouin tents, and there was a fire spinner, this Arabic dance, and then there was a belly dancer. It was fun. Do I consider belly dancing objectification of women? Um, no, not inherently. This is something I've thought of a bit. Obviously, feminism is not the topic I've put the most thought into, but I've put a fair amount. I think that it's unclear when something is objectifying and when something is appreciating beauty, right? So humans are beautiful, right? Um, a belly dance is a beautiful dance. It's it's true you see some skin, but I'm not sure I don't know if I would put that in the category of objectifying. I think what's important is how does the belly dancer feel? Like, does she go home at night and feel like shame in what she's doing, or does she get meaning? Does she feel like she's doing something important in life? And I'd say that's probably the most important. It's not. It's less so for me to decide. And I think I have a similar take on prostitution, right? Like when prostitution is illegal, like it is in most places in the world, then you have a lot of um, like forced, like sex trafficking, prostitution through control and coercion. Um, but in places where it's regulated, you see like a different culture around it, and you see that some women actually genuinely like. I've actually spoken to some people might think this is wild, but I've spoken to a few sex workers that genuinely enjoy their line of work. They get meaning out of it. They get sense of community out of it. And I've heard other people make the case that being with a prostitute is like raping someone, which I think that takes away the individual's agency, right? Can a woman not decide which job she wants to work in? Obviously, if that woman is there against her will, then that would be rape. But if a woman is willfully deciding and she actually someone enjoys what she does, then I, like I definitely wouldn't say that's the case. So again, whether something is objectification or appreciating beauty, I think it's a fine line that's kind of hard to define. Um, when it comes to prostitution, it seems like it should be legal and regulated so you can protect the women engaging in prostitution because, like all black markets, they're going to exist. You know, if it's not going to be in the white market, it'll go to the black market. If you could legalize and regulate something, it's going to be safer for the consumers. And in the case of prostitution, it's going to be much safer for the workers. And there's data across the board. I mean, you look at prostitutes in Holland, for example, and compare them to prostitutes in a place where it's illegal, like New York. Look at their conditions, look at their rights, look at how they're treated and how they're paid. These things are world apart. Outlawing prostitution doesn't make it go away. It just puts it to the underground and makes it worse for the women involved in that. Silver 42 goes, "Are you TV to the dining type of guy?" I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Please clarify that. Muhammad Hamdan goes, "The Israelites and Ishmaelites both return home and have rights." Amen, brother. I think that's exactly the spirit we need to approach this conflict with. So, Blind Warlock, there's no male belly dancers, but There's this very cool Arabic dance, which I don't know what it's called, but literally a dude is spinning for like 10 minutes straight, which doesn't seem physically possible. And he's like, he has these round, I don't know, it's hard to explain. If somebody knows what it's called, let me know. We'll post a video, but it's pretty damn cool. Um, yeah. Danny says that that's the kind of talk that will get you trouble in Dubai. Yeah, so somebody who lives here said it's fine as long as I'm not disrespecting authorities. Like I'm not disrespecting the government, the authorities, or promoting the act of anything illegal in this country, right? I clearly stated that it's illegal here and should not be done, but I'm being asked about my general thoughts on these things. I'm talking about them. If I get in trouble, I will deal with that when it comes. So, Leica asks, what other job description would it be acceptable for 99% of the workers to end up assaulted? Um, that's a fair question, but I would say in places where prostitution is legal and regulated, those that's not the case, right? This is the black market. And if we're looking at black market, I would say that there's other black market um, occupations that have a very high rate of violence, like drug dealers. Um, that's the one that's coming to mind. And there's also a lot of other jobs that are legal that are very physically taxing, like working in a coal mine, right? Like I don't. I'm sure we could state some differences between prostitution and working in a coal mine, but working in a coal mine is killing people, right? It's brutal on your body. So I don't know if that's enough of a reason to make it illegal. At the end of the day, people should have the right to choose what they do as long as they're not harming others. At least that's how I view laws and rights. Be free. You do you. Just don't harm others. And obviously, try not to harm yourself. And if you are harming yourself, then I could see case for government intervening in a not too authoritarian way to help you. But that's how I think laws should be defined. So, Lakey, you're talking about issues in Holland, which I'm not aware of prostitutes in Holland or trafficked girls. But what we need to look at, we need to compare places where it's legal to places where it's illegal. Okay, there's not a single country in the world where there's no prostitution. So all that means is that you're going to have prostitution regardless of what the law states. So now we need to look at these countries and compare legal prostitution to illegal prostitution and see which cases are more harmful to the prostitutes. And I could almost guarantee that places where it's legal have far better conditions and better pay for prostitutes. So that's really how we need to look at it because it's prostitution is not going anywhere. Um, you know, it's literally a market for str- one of our strongest desires. Like we shouldn't expect that to go away. We could try to work towards an ideal world where uh, every man has the love and intimacy they need and don't feel the need to go to a prostitute, but that's not within the realm of possible, not in the near future. It's possible that one day we'll have sex robots, right? That are super realistic, kind of like in Westworld. Yeah, that might be the solution to get away from human prostitution, but it's not going anywhere. So the question is, while it exists, how can we make it as safe as possible? As Cam goes, I subscribe to. Thanks. Thank you for the subscription. Anybody else who's not subscribed, subscribe. Renting someone's like it goes, renting someone's vagina for pleasure isn't just like taking drugs. Yeah, I agree. But at the end of the day, why should a woman not have the right to choose what she does with her own body if she's not being coerced? Like this would actually be an interesting. I think Paulina, who's been on the show, would be happy to have a debate with you on this topic because I know that she's uh, pro sex work. So if you're interested, message me on Discord. I think Pauline is be down. This would be a very interesting conversation um, to have. What I will agree, like, is that I think prostitution in a society is a sign of something not being quite well in that society, right? It's a sign of a lack of intimacy, a loneliness that many men might have. I would grant that, but we need to meet reality where it's at, and that exists. Many men feel the need to pay for sex because for one reason or another they have trouble finding it without paying, or they're stuck in maybe they're stuck in a they're older and they really want to be they desire someone younger, right? There's a lot of instances in which you could see the appeal for something like that. um, and that appeal, that desire, is not going to go away anytime in the near future. So again, it's a question of how do we make it as safe as possible. Cool. Lake agreed to the debate. Paulina, I don't know if you're watching this, but we'll set it up. um, Everyone watching, December, sometime in December, is sex work? The great debate. Stay tuned. We're doing it. Mir asks if I'm in Dubai for business or pleasure. So I spoke about this at the beginning. My dad wanted to fly somewhere spontaneously for his birthday, and he invited me, so I came with him. Sebastian Fuchs goes, "Hey Adar, this might be a weird question, but I'm from Germany and really want to travel to the Middle East. What is a good first country to visit?" Well, I'm a bit biased, but I'd say come to Israel, Palestine, right? Um, but yeah, like being Israeli, that's my first. That to me seems like the obvious first place. It has such immense diversity in such a small piece of land. You could start in Tel Aviv, which is a beautiful coastal city with a great nightlife, great food, great vibes. You drive an hour southeast and you're in Jerusalem, which is a completely different type of city on a mountain, much more religious. Also, many would say good vibes. Less my style, but the contrast between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem is quite stark. From Jerusalem, you'll go another 45 minutes to an hour south, and you're in the desert, a moon looking desert. If you go north of Tel Aviv, pretty quickly, you'll start seeing like grasslands and forests. You drive more north, you'll get to beautiful mountainscapes. This is all within a few hour drive in each direction. Not to mention some of the best food in the world and a very diverse population, right? You have um, the minority groups. You have 20% are uh, Arab slash Palestinian citizens of Israel. Some being Muslim, others being Christian. You have Druze. You have Kilkitchim. How do you say that? Circassians? How do you even say that in English? You have Samaritans. Um, you have Armenians, right? There's so many. I know I'm missing. I know I'm missing a lot. And then in the Jews, you think it's like a homogeneous place, just the Jews, but no, you have like Jews from Europe, Ashkenazi Jews, but even they're diverse, right? Some came from Poland, others from Germany, others from Austria, many Russian Jews, Jews from all over South America, Jews from North America, Jews from the Middle East and North Africa, all over the Middle East and North Africa, Jews from Ethiopia. You even have some from China and India, right? All these people, when they returned to the land, they brought back some local culture. So Israel has very diverse culture: Middle Eastern, Eastern, Western. Quite fascinating. African, right? SCAM goes, I love to visit Palestine, but I'm a gay. They may kill me. You're not. I think Gaza's a different story. You're not going to be killed in Palestine for being gay if you're not. I would tell you, show, don't do like public display of affection with someone of the same sex on the street in any Palestinian neighborhood or city. for sure, but it's not like being gay in and of itself is illegal. So it's not like you go to Ramallah and they see on your Facebook that you're openly gay and you'll get arrested. That's not the case. Just don't, you know, show that you're gay and you shouldn't have problems. And yeah, it sucks, right? You should be able to express yourself freely wherever you go. Caucasians. So thanks, social minds. I pronounced Caucasians right. We see Baja. Yes, that's true. Tell me, yeah, what other ethnic groups did I miss? LAG goes, hi, greetings from Mexico. I just want to tell you, do not underestimate Adam Green. He is very well informed because he's completely obsessed with the Jews, the Talmud, and anti-Semitic conspiracies. Yeah, thanks, LAG. What's for sure is Adam is much better informed than me about the Talmud and the Jews, which is interesting, right? Because one of his claims is that we follow the Talmud, and the Talmud says this, 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 and this, but he knows the Talmud better than most Jews. It's kind of ironic. I'll point that out to him. Um, yeah, I don't underestimate him. I've watched some of his videos. I know he's very well informed. I'm preparing a fair bit for this. I'm gonna come into it prepared and present some, I think, some arguments that have not yet been heard when it comes to discussions on anti-Semitism. Or I don't want to say they haven't been heard. I don't think I don't think there's many original ideas these days. I think most things have been said and thought of, but maybe more accurate to say, I will bring up arguments that are not common when discussing anti-Semitism. Ari Green goes Bedouins. Yep, we have Bedouin populations. True. Social Minds goes, do Hebrew Israelites convert to stay in Israel? I know there's a small community there. Yes, I have some friends from the Hebrew Israelite community. I don't think they do official conversions. I think they got permission. Um, some of them are being deported now. I have a friend from that community. He's one of the like top dogs in that community. His name's Ashrel. He's been on the show like at the very beginning. I'm gonna have him on in the next few weeks to talk more about it. So anybody who has questions about the Hebrew Israelite community, he would be a good person to ask about that. Ari Green goes, you also forgot the important ethnicity of American Jews from the suburbs simping for Israeli Sephardi Jews. True, yeah, that's another ethnic group here. All right, guys, it's 12:30. I'm gonna wrap it up. This was fun. I did not think I'd be doing a live, and I just got to this new Airbnb, and I saw the nice view. I saw the internet works. I said, "Let's fucking go. Let's do this." And yeah, I had a great time. Um, Reminder: Thursday, it's going to be Tal and Izzy for a one-on-one discussion in Israel and a Palestinian. Next Thursday, I'll be debating Adam Green. Very much looking forward to that. And whoever didn't join our BBS yet, join our BBS. BBS is kind of like Reddit, but built using blockchain technology. You actually earn money for creating posts, and you earn money for creating content, and you also get money for signing up so you could buy other people's posts. Every post is an NFT and you could buy it. I'm not going to get into the whole economics of it right now, but if you have questions, ask me. I've broken it down in other videos. Um, but yeah, join the BBS, make a post, say hi. I'll buy your post, so you will already earn a few cents tonight if you join BBS. Much love, friends. Signing out.